Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Home for the Holidays segment. This is our heart-to-heart discussion. Thank you so much for joining us. I want you to share this information with everybody who's watching right now. If you're watching with us on Facebook, on YouTube, if you're watching on our website, whatever you have to do, share the information that we're live and in living color. And we're so excited about this segment of Home for the Holidays. It's sponsored by Industrial Bank. And man, I tell you, we're coming to the end of the year, and we need to know about our financial situation with everything that we've been dealing with in the pandemic. So I want to welcome my panel tonight. I have Doyle Mitchell Jr. He's the president and CEO of Industrial Bank. How are you? How are you? How are you?
Wonderful.
Awesome. We also have his senior team of banking professionals. We have Jackie Bowles, who I've been talking to for the last few weeks. It's so good to see your face, sister. Welcome to our Home for the Holidays. She's the senior VP and director of retail banking. How are you?
I am wonderful. Good to see you, Cheryl.
Right. Good to put a face to the voice, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, Star Williams is the senior VP of director of risk management. She's on as well. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Staria, right? I see Staria on here. And
Star, yeah.
You go by Star? Okay, awesome. We'll go by Star. Leonard Clark is also the senior VP of the chief lending officer. He's going to be my good friend because I might need a loan, soon. So, hi, Leonard.
How are you? Great to be here.
Good to have you guys. We know the history of Industrial Bank. You guys have been a part of our community for almost 100 years. And we are so excited about the opportunity of African-American bankers and being a part of our community. Industrial Bank is building quite the legacy. So tell us, this question is posed to be Doyle Mitchell Jr. Why did your family feel it was important to start a bank, a Black-owned bank, and at the time that you did? So for people who don't know, because this Zoom is going all over the world, or this show is going all over the world. It's the World Wide Web. So they may not know the history of Industrial Bank. And we start there, and then you can go ahead and answer the question as to why you started when you did.
Well, just a little bit on the history. We were founded by my grandfather and a group of other Black business leaders in Washington, D.C., in the Shaw neighborhood in 1934. And the reason was pretty much the same as it is now. People of color did not get serviced well by financial institutions at that time. Mm-hmm. And there was a great need in Shaw. There was a growing, thriving community. There was restaurants and nightclubs, and African Americans had businesses, and they needed a bank, not just to deposit their money in, but a bank that could loan money to them, help them to grow, help them to buy cars and homes, and send their children to college.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know it was a struggle when you guys started back then, right? Like it's an amazing history that you guys started during the time you did 86 years ago. 86 years ago. So with 86 plus years as a family owned and operated Black owned business, please share with us how you have managed to sustain and grow during this time. Many Black owned banks have merged. You recently had a manager in the New York and New Jersey area where you were, why were these areas appealing for your expansion?
Well, let me just give you a little bit on how I think we have been successful over the years, which is exactly, again, why we were able to succeed and open in 1934, basically based on the unity of African Americans. And a lot of our customers have brought their children and their children's children to the bank, and we treated them well. We gave them personalized service. We taught many of them the business of banking, not just how to deposit their money and help their money grow, but also how to get loans. And we did quite a bit of handholding when sometimes individuals and or businesses didn't fully understand the process. I think the other reason we've been successful is that when businesses and individuals get in trouble, we just don't send them away. We try to help them get through their difficulties. And as long as they're honest with us, we do our best to try to get them to, through the hard times. And when we have done that, we have found that we have engendered a lot of loyalty among our customer base.
That's really good. That's really good. For those who are viewing, of course, if you have any questions for any one of the senior VPs and also the president and CEO of Industrial Bank, if you have any questions, we want to be able to address your questions tonight, because that's what Home for the Holidays is all about, is getting information out there and being able to give you the information that you need. Also, we've been talking with Jackie Bowles for a number of weeks. We're professionals now, right, Jackie? Making sure the message is out there. It's been a wonderful experience with our Home for the Holiday segment during the midday show. Can anyone bank with Industrial Bank, or is it location specific? We'll start there, and then you can give us where the locations are.
Sure. So we are a CDFI, a community development financial institution. And Cheryl, really what that means is that we reinvest in excess of 60% of our assets back into the communities that we serve. Traditionally, we do serve the DMV area now. And as Mr. Mitchell mentioned, we have a branch in Newark, New Jersey, and in Harlem. And so while that is our immediate community, we have customers that bank with us nationwide. And so, no, we are all inclusive. We would like to bear hug anyone who would like to join our family. So yes, we are a local community small bank, and it has its wonderful benefits. We are open for everyone.
That's awesome. So any new locations that we can look forward to?
Yes, we have another coming in Largo, Maryland. Next year, we'll have one in Largo off of Harry S. Truman Drive. So we're pretty excited about that.
Oh, see, that's close to me. I might have to do that. I might have to do some work with you guys. So how are you handling new accounts during the pandemic?
Yes. And so before I say that, you did ask me about the locations. We have 5 locations in Washington, D.C., throughout Washington, D.C. We have 2 right now, soon to be 3 in Prince George's County. And as I mentioned, Harlem and Newark. Yes. How are we engaging our customers right now? So because we are all pretty much working remotely and virtually, our branches are open. Our branches are open for drive-through. Those that have drive-through, we're open for lobby transactions. So we are practicing social distancing. We are very, very focused on the safety of our employees and our customers. And we've also set up an account appointment portal. So you can visit our website, industrial-bank.com, and request an in-person appointment for any branch location with any of our associates. Now, I will say, Cheryl, it's important that we try to expedite service requests, expedite new account opening experiences, and we're using email. So we're using email to be able to communicate the documents that are required. We're using email to respond to service requests, so that when in fact it is your time to come into the branch, your visit is very focused, is signing some documents, is making a payment, grabbing your information and leaving. And so we are really trying to be laser focused on efficiency. We also have an online account portal. So you can actually visit our website and click on new account, and you can open up a new account that way as well. So we're reaching our customers where they are, in their cars, in the drive-through, and via branch appointments as well.
That's awesome. So you don't even have to come in physically because of the pandemic to get what you need to do as far as your banking needs. And it's so important, especially now with, we knew that racism existed in our country. We knew that, but it seems like it wasn't as blatant as we're seeing it now. So, to know that this is an African-American owned bank that can give us direction as to what to do with our money. And Radio One, we're buying Black, right? So we are really focusing on Black businesses and making sure that we're spotlighting Black businesses so that our viewers will know, where to spend their dollars. And so to be a part of a family like Industrial Bank is awesome. So I think we have a question from our audience. Maddie Sullivan is asking, is there any online presence? And so I think that you answered that, but you can talk a little bit more extensively about some of the things that you do online. I know we talked about financial literacy online.
Yes. Yes. So Not only can you engage your banker via online for scheduling an appointment, but we have financial literacy, and that's something that we've been doing for many, many years now. And prior to COVID, obviously, we were in person. We've had so many experiences and worked with so many organizations. We were in the DC jail every other Tuesday, working with incarcerated men prior to their reentry into the community, and have created some wonderful, long-lasting relationships with many of the gentlemen there as well. And so now we have had to switch to virtual. And so you can click on financial education, and we have a full gamut of financial literacy, little snippets, 5-10 minutes here and there, 1 to 2 minutes, but everything from banking 101, the importance of savings, needs versus wants, understanding and managing credit, home ownership, access to capital for those entrepreneurs that are out there, and student lending. So we have a full suite of educational segments on our website. We're still doing them virtual as well, though.
I love it. Gwen Murphy asks, do you currently have incentives for new customers?
Miss Murphy, thank you for asking. So we have a very robust rewards program. It's called Kasasa, K-A-S-A-S-A. And so Kasasa is a rewards checking program which offers cash back on everyday purchases. It also offers a very competitive interest rate in an environment where rates are not attractive anywhere. And so there are 3 small qualifications, things you do every day. Allow us to send e-statements, swipe your debit card at least 12 times a month, and log on to online banking to check your balance at least once a month. And I know most of us are doing it daily, if not more than once a day now, right?
Right.
And then if you meet those 3 criteria, you can choose what your reward will be. It'll either be a nice interest rate over 1% right now, which is pretty good, or we're giving 3% cash back, not to exceed $7.50. So all I say is, look, we pay you to bank with us. We also reimburse up to $25 of ATM fees as well. So yes, the answer is yes. That is just one of the things, Ms. Murphy, that we have to offer you. Plus the relationship is phenomenal.
You know, and it's so awesome because I'm looking at some of the comments on our Facebook page, and one of the viewers says, well, she's in Florida now, but used to live in DC. But even in that, you know, you don't have to have a local bank with regards to how we're banking now online, and making sure that you can still get a person and you can still get somebody who can direct you to whatever needs to be done. So if the branch isn't in Florida and you still bank with Industrial, you should still be able to have an opportunity to do that and do it successfully.
Yeah,
Sure. We have many people that have opened accounts when they were in the DC area and have moved elsewhere and continue to move their accounts. So let me just mention one other thing. You can apply for a real estate home loan online as well.
Wow. I saw somebody asking, yep, there it is. So how is the condo market, and is there a low percentage on purchasing a condo at this time? And I'm sure that's probably for our chief lending officer. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Well, we are certainly working with our borrowers. Thank you for this question with condominium loans. So there is, we do have financing for those, and we work with investors and developers who are developing and building condos. So we do provide loans for those as well.
We were still talking. I started choking a little bit. Sorry about that. We were talking with Jackie about the type of services and programs. What type of services and programs does Industrial Bank offer?
Sure. So in addition to Kasasa, we are very focused on saving. Even now, we have to encourage our community to save money. And so we've created something that's called the Steady Saver CD. And most of you all are familiar that with most CDs, you're required to put at least $1,000 down, and you have to lock your money in for a certain period of time, no withdrawals available. But our Steady Saver CD is an 18-month term. We realize that life happens, so we do allow 2 penalty-free withdrawals during the 18-month period. But the best part about it, Cheryl, is that we encourage you and we allow anytime deposits. So whether you're paid weekly, twice a month, once a month, you have the ability to deposit money into your CD, earning a CD rate whenever you're able to. So we have our Steady Saver CD. For our newer businesses, we realize that the struggle of cash flow is sometimes difficult, especially for our newer businesses. So we have an emerging business relationship that allows our businesses 5 years or younger to bank with us 1 year without the stress of having to maintain a minimum balance. And during that time, where we won't charge you any monthly service fees, we're encouraging you to come in, establish that relationship with your branch manager, meet our commercial lenders, so that when that year transpires, we've had a chance to develop a relationship, make sure that you're utilizing and leveraging all the cash management products and services that we have to offer that will make your banking experience safer, more convenient, and more efficient. And so we just encourage you, again, it's all about relationship for us. So we have the Steady Saver CD. But I have to tell you something else. We believe in second chances. And so we have created a partnership with Bank on DC, and we have now what's called our community checking relationship and our community savings relationship. And so those individuals, we know that there are so many in our community that are unbanked or underbanked, and on average are spending in excess of $800 a year on alternative banking services. Yes,
Right.
check cash fees, money orders just to pay bills. And who wants to pay money to pay bills, right?
Right.
Well, you don't have to here. We'll meet you where you are. We give you that second chance. And I'm so excited because Ms. Starr Williams, who's our compliance officer, has allowed us to also extend that to minors. So we're able to bank individuals 16 and a half non-custodial so that they now can learn how to bank traditionally. So yes, we're there, and we have so many products and services that mimic the things that we teach.
You know, that is so amazing. I have 2 kids in college right now. So I hope y'all praying for me. But in the midst of us trying to help develop financial literacy for them and build bank accounts for them, they had to do these accounts that was just, they weren't really bank accounts for them, you know, when they were 15 and 16. Now, of course, they're old enough to have their own accounts, but that was such a challenge for us. I never knew that, you know, other institutions had so many different restrictions when it came to banking as a youth, you know. I remember having a bank account, you know, and locally, I grew up in Northwest DC, so my family banked locally as well. I remember having a bank account when we were teenagers, but, you know, us teaching our children, it was so hard for them to have their own individual bank account. So that is so absolutely amazing. Share some type of the support Industrial Bank offers to create financial intelligence. We talked a little bit about financial literacy today. I know that that you know you have some ways that for financial intelligence within the communities, and what's offered in terms of financial literacy. That, you know, some of the things we talked about today.
Okay, so
let me just start at a high level before Jackie gives you some details.
Sure.
We have a passion for teaching. You know, we were founded on trying to teach individuals and businesses the basics of finance, and we have a passion for that. We've carried that on for decades, even before they called it financial literacy. And one of them, as Jackie mentioned, is young people. The other, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit later, is putting people in homes, getting renters that want to buy a home and begin to build wealth in their own home. And so we work with many programs, governmental programs, where you can get down payment assistance, closing cost assistance, and sometimes the money is pretty substantial, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to help you get in a home. And so we have a real passion for that. And Jack can add on to some of the other things.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really, you know, we take it back to the basics, you know, the importance of banking 101, you know, a checking account versus a savings account, because we can't assume that everybody knows, right?
Right.
And so then we talk about savings, understanding and managing credit, the home ownership piece, which is huge. And we also leverage strategic partnerships, wealth generation and the transfer of wealth from one generation to another. We partner with Amy Griffin, and she helps our customers with estate planning. We work with the Wealth Syndicate, Dwayne Ellis. And so we work with so many strategic partners so that even though we may not necessarily be able to offer all things to everyone, our network is so powerful. And that's the benefit of banking with a community bank. You get to join the family and all the perks of all the people that we have in our network.
Right. You know, and I'd share a lot of my experiences because Other people might be going through the same thing. You talk about exchanging wealth from generation to generation. I'm now taking care of my mom and dealing with her financials, and the home I grew up with is now my house, you know, in the city. And so dealing with those financial situations and not being able to touch somebody or talk to somebody, or somebody from, you know, that looked like me that might understand, you know, the passing of generations and all of that thing when it comes to financial wealth. This is so absolutely amazing. So you might have a new customer, because I think I'm gonna need to call y'all. I know how to get in touch with you now, Jackie. I can start on the senior VP level.
Absolutely.
But that's so good. You know, this isn't just, you know, enlightening for me, but I'm sure it's enlightening for our viewers as well. So we have another question from the audience right now. So Dawn Beloved, hey Dawn, what kind of programs or assistance do you have for investors?
Are you talking investors that want to put their money in, say, mutual funds?
I'm thinking that's what she's talking about.
That's the question right now. We just make referrals. We really don't have programs of our own for investors. But you know, give us a little time. We'll get there.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. And that's so honest of you, because somebody else would have tried to conjure up something, but that's good to know.
You gotta be straight with people.
Right, exactly. So Jackie, one more question. How does listeners sign up for additional information or the resources that Industrial Bank offer?
So absolutely, industrial-bank.com, and we have a wealth of information about products or services. Again, if you would want to make an appointment to engage virtually first with any branch manager or even myself, you can go to info@industrialbank.com and put your request there, and we review those on a daily basis. So industrial-bank.com, or info@industrial-bank.com.
That's awesome. So Karen Jackson says, Industrial Bank has been my family bank for over 30 years. Growing up, she said, my mom took us all to open accounts at Industrial Bank. Until this day, we are still Industrial Bank members. Hats off.
God bless you, Karen Jackson.
Yay. That's so amazing.
Families like hers that have built the bank, and we really appreciate them.
That's so awesome. All right. So Star, with fraud on the rise, and we're starting to see a lot of that, you know, banking frauds. I was just doing a story on it today. How can we protect ourselves against identity theft?
Well, the best thing that you can do is be mindful of your searches, your clicks, your emails. Everybody, you know, that's the easiest way to communicate. That's probably one of the most common ways to communicate is email, text messages, on the phone. And you'd be surprised at how many people right now thinking an email is innocent, and you're opening it and you're clicking in that email, and the whole time you're inviting people in, and people that don't belong in. I would tell you, on all of your platforms, have a strong password and change that password often. You know, when we sign up on social media platforms, we open a Google email, Yahoo email, and we have one password, and then we download the app on our phone and we forget the password and we never change the password. And that's asking for trouble. So I would tell you, at least every 60 days, it's good to change your password, and it's good to have a strong password, not your dog's name or, you know, my favorite color is blue, but make it a complex password. And I would change that password at least every 60 days across your platforms.
Tell them about some of the things that we're trained to look for in emails that might be fraudulent.
One of the easiest things that you can all do whenever you get an email and there are attachments or hyperlinks in your email, take your mouse and just hover over the email. You don't have to click it. You don't have to do anything. And when you hover over that link, it's going to tell you exactly where it's going. So if you're on industrialbank.com, but then you hover over that link and it's sending you somewhere that's not Industrial Bank related, you'll be able to see that right in the character. A lot of times when you're being contacted by your financial institution, be mindful. Your financial institution is never going to ask for your account number. They're never going to ask for those kinds of things because they already have it. They're going to ask you for secure questions about who you are to validate those things so that you don't have to give out your account number or certain passwords. Is it reasonable? I mean, would the president of your bank be emailing you at 4:30 in the morning? It's not likely. So, those are the kinds of things that you have to look for in an email. And it doesn't take but a few minutes to peruse that email, to see certain things and to know whether or not it's safe or it's something that's nefarious.
Got it. You just taught me a lot. I knew that because even at our station, we have to use phrases, right, for our passwords. And every 6 months, they ask us to, not 6 months, every so often, they ask us to update it, right? So it's not just one word. You have to change, and I usually do that across my platform. When I have to change it, I change others, But I didn't realize I needed to do that for everything, because there are passwords on everything.
Everything has a password. And a lot of the times you don't remember. A complex password usually has numbers, letters, uppercase and lowercase, and special characters. So anything that you can remember that's a combination of those things is a strong password. And like I said, usually it's hard to remember, but you would be surprised. All of your banking, all of us usually have a million apps on our phone, and every last one of those apps has a password, and you don't think about how much information you share when you log in and you say, can I access your camera? Can I access your microphone? Can I access your contacts? You're then exposing everybody that you know and everything that you house on your phone or on your computers to those things. So you want to keep them safe. That's all your information, and you want to keep that safe. You
are stepping on my toes, sis. I gotta tell you. I'm a woman of a certain age. You don't remember all these passwords. You gotta write them down.
We call her the fun police.
Right?
She's our fun police.
And my husband is military, so he's very strict. Like, he has no apps on his phone. Like, he doesn't. But I'm in media, so I have 100 on mine. It's like the whole opposite. Wow. Right. Okay. So if someone has been a victim, are there resources available for those that need help? Like, I can go to my help desk at work because we usually are like, listen, this is happening. So what do we do? But yeah, is there resources that can help us?
So at Industrial Bank, we are very we make a concerted effort to protect the information of our customers and our confidential and proprietary information. But yes, if you feel like your information is exposed, one thing you can always do is call your the credit consumers, your credit report, let them know that you've been compromised. Some compromises even are escalated to the point of needing to involve law enforcement. There have been cases where, we've been contacted by law enforcement because it's risen to that scale because of the fraud. Especially now in the pandemic, we've seen an uptick in fraud as it pertains to pandemic relief. So with SBA loans, with unemployment benefits, we've seen a lot of that. So it's important to always check, always reach out. And if ever you've been a victim of identity theft, what you always want to do, again, first is change your passwords. If there's been any compromise to your account numbers, it's important to change your account numbers too. And I know that can be it can be cumbersome to do that. But if there's been any kind of compromise to your account numbers, you want to get new account numbers. Your cards, banks are very good about sending you out new debit cards. If your card has been compromised, changing your PIN and different things like that. So there are things that you can do to protect yourself and put a little bit of a fence around yourself if you've been compromised before. But these are all things that you can do, on different websites. HTTPS, it's the littlest thing in the corner of any website you go to. HTTPS is going to be an indication that is a secured website. If it's not a secured website, you should not be entering any kind of information on that website. And it's right in the corner of your information bar at the top.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So are you seeing a rise of fraudulent activity right now?
We are. Unfortunately, we're seeing an uptick in that. People are taking advantage of, the relief that's been meant to help people. We've seen, unfortunately, people take advantage of that and commit fraud. We've seen our customers, unfortunately, some, people have been victims of fraud. And, it's a sad thing, But I'm glad to say that at Industrial Bank, we have a lot of mitigation strategies and controls in place to help protect our customers and try to minimize that impact to our customers. And we're on them, even when they're meeting with our personal bankers through the drive-through in the lobbies, we're practicing keeping their information protected, asking them questions and doing things and engaging them in conversations. And sometimes customers will let you know that, something has gone awry and they don't even realize it. And we're there to let them know, hey, that's not good, or you should do different things. So I think we're a really good partner with our customers and making sure that their information is protected and their funds are safe while they're with us.
I know you shared a few tips, but are there any additional tips to help protect us? Or even if you could share a few examples. We've been talking about that as we've been going along the way, but if you have a few more before we move on to the next question, we'd love to hear.
I would think when it comes to your banking information, there are very few entities that really need that information. If you're not specifically paying a bill or doing anything like that, there's very few people that need access to your social security number, to any account numbers, and any passwords. So be mindful if anyone is asking for that information and it's really not a monetary transaction that's going on. So it's not a loan, you're not receiving any funds, you should be leery of that. Anyone just asking you that you don't know, there's so many emails, and all it takes is one email for you to click on and respond to someone, and they are now kind of in your business, so to speak, because they have access to all of your information. So be mindful of your emails. And like I said, checking those emails, those little things to check your emails will really protect you from a lot of heartache. And even your apps, be mindful of what you allow your apps to have access to, because they don't need to have access to all of that information for you to play a game or for you to access certain things. So you don't have to allow them access to your contacts and different things like that. So those are just a few things that you can do to just safeguard your information just a little bit more.
So, when you're applying for like credit cards, or even now you can apply for car loans online and they'll ask for your social and stuff like that. Is that safe to do or
if
no?
If it says HTTPS in the corner, so if it's a legitimate, and it's okay, and I think sometimes you might get a little afraid, but it's okay to Google and research the people that you want to do business with too, to make sure that they're a legitimate business. Even if I'm buying a car or if I'm applying online, before I do that, I want to know a little bit more about that business. Do they have a history? Are there any reviews, complaints, register complaints? You got to search good news and bad news about certain people before you engage in business with them. But if you're going to do anything online, any kind of application online, you should be prompted to be on a secure site, because you're going to be giving information that's not public information. And so if you don't see HTTPS or you don't get any kind of notification that you're going to a secured site, I would advise against entering any personal information.
Wow. I wish I had you in my back pocket every time.
Well,
Having
you
hands
can,
on my
you
shoulder.
can,
Don't touch that. Don't click that. Don't do that.
Sure,
Remember
you
your
can
password.
have
Write
it.
down your password. Right?
You can have this if you come see us. That's the whole idea. Come join the family. Let Jackie give you a bear hug, and you have access to the star anytime you want.
Yes, you do.
Oh, good. So all of this is offered to those who bank at Industrial Bank. All this information right at their fingertips. That's so dope. So you can have Star in your pocket if you are a member of Industrial Bank. All right. So Leonard, Industrial Bank has helped businesses grow and prosper for many years. In this time of COVID, how has Industrial Bank assisted their business customers during the pandemic? I know that is the big question. We've been talking about it with Jackie and a number of others, from Industrial, doing our home for the holidays. So I'm a little pro at it right now as to what you guys are doing during the pandemic, but I do want to share that with our viewers across the world. So give us some of the things that you guys are doing to help customers.
Well, we understand that small businesses and developers have been really adversely affected by the pandemic. And we've assisted by offering up to 6 months of payment deferrals to our small businesses, churches, and commercial real estate investors when needed. This provided a much needed payment relief to these important borrowers of ours as they adapt to a new norm of the COVID pandemic. We also facilitated SBA PPP loans, of approximately 137 businesses, totaling $23 million, and to help businesses stay afloat and keep their employees on the payroll. So those are ways that we wanted to support that because we're all going through hard times. I mean, and it's important for us, and we agreed to recognize that as a bank and try and help.
That is so good. And I know that there's a lot of businesses that lost businesses and lost employees and all of that during this pandemic. And we're still not out of it. So I know that that's, something that, viewers want to hear, especially those that are small businesses. I think we have another question. To pose. How do you start to build good credit? What's the first steps? That is so absolutely good because, during this pandemic, you see yourself in a great, having good credit. And then if you had to miss payments on any credit cards, they gave you this grace period, but it was still being reported, right? So I've noticed that with my kids and so others that we've been trying to help build credit, that some of that has, because of the pandemic, it has affected their credit scores. And I wonder how businesses are going to look at that outside of the pandemic. But any one of you guys can jump in and answer that question, starting, what is it they need to do to help build good credit? Number one is making payments on time. I can give you that. But go ahead. I'm not a part of Industrial Bank, so I'll let you answer.
Well, I just give you a story of my own. When I went to college, I think Sears Roebuck was on campus up at Rutgers, and if you signed up for a credit card, you got a mug, and I wanted the mug, so I got the credit card. But so did a couple of my friends, and I worked during the summers. I worked during Christmas time, and so I had a little money, and I had a $500 balance. I never charged it up to the max. And I made the minimum payment. It was probably $25. I worked even while I was in school in my last 2 years. On the flip side, I can remember a couple of my roommates charged their card up to the max, didn't make the payments. And so credit can start when you're very young. I think I was 18 at the time. And many credit card companies want to get you into their product as young as they can. And that's your chance to be conservative and build credit. If you take your card and you charge it up to the max and you don't have many intentions to make the minimum payment, then you're going to get yourself off to a bad start. So I actually had one little piece of credit before I came and borrowed some money to buy a car at Industrial Bank after I graduated. And so to get you off on the right foot is the easiest way to establish credit and keep clean credit. If you work yourself into a hole, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged because you can get out of it. It's going to take patience and persistence and discipline, but you can get out of it. You start working on the smaller balances first. I mean, Jackie, I think many of the financial experts that come and teach some of the classes that we offer start on the higher interest rate, smaller balances first, pay those off and keep going. And there are times when you can even negotiate with the credit card companies, but don't think that your life is ruined because you dug a hole for yourself. Never give up.
You have to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
Start rebuilding. And, I said my kids are in college and that's, our mailboxes are flooded with credit card offers. You know what I mean? And as a college student, you want to jump on that because now I got a little extra money without learning how to do it. And as soon as they come in the mail, I'm throwing them in the trash because I don't want them to get stuck in that. So Leonard, back to you. For entrepreneurs, what type of loan or assistance does Industrial Bank offer? I'm mute.
Yeah, we provide loans for commercial real estate for investors who are looking to develop real estate, buy real estate, refinance real estate. We also provide loans for small businesses C&I loans. We also provide SBA loans. And the thing about it is we look at everyone's application as an individual. We look at what you have for liquidity. We look at what you have for net worth. We look at your credit score, because that's a great indicator of whether or not you'll be able to pay the bank back. But what I think we pride ourselves on is we listen to your story. We listen to what matters to you, and we try and provide a product that is the best thing for the situation that you're asking for. And often, sometimes it's not exactly what you came in for, but our job is to listen to you and determine with you, in agreement with you, about what's the best course to go forward. And that takes a lot of time, but I've got some great lenders and portfolio managers and folks at the bank who work very hard on this. We'll have borrowers who submit applications, they're incomplete. Other places are greatly just put it in the trash bin. We actually reach out to you lots of times to find out if we can get the information from you, if we can fill it out correctly, and basically give an accurate picture of your financial position and what you're trying to do. And sometimes what you want to do is probably not the best thing, and we'll give you that advice as well, because you want a financial partner that is looking for you and your best interests.
That's so good, because we don't always have the answers. We don't always know what we should be doing or how we should fill out certain things. And to have that extra help is amazing. What is the value of establishing a relationship with Industrial Bank? That's one of the values, right? That you're able to, step in and help as opposed to a big conglomerate bank that really just sees you as a number. But yeah, tell us the value of establishing relationships. And are there any other types of business banking tips you can offer?
Well, I think the value of establishing a relationship with Industrial is that we listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
We care about you as not only as a customer, but as a person. We care about how you're doing. And so we're interested in finding that information out because we want to help. And our job is to help you solve problems, not create more for you. Mm-hmm. And if it becomes down to it that in a situation where you're not quite bankable, we do have some entities that provide that kind of financing, as Jackie mentioned, that will help you get there, become bankable, and then come back to Industrial for a regular conventional loan. And so we really pride ourselves on doing that. Our lenders spend a lot of time with borrowers talking about their issues and concerns and the financial aspects of what they're trying to do, looking at their credit report, looking at their financial statements, looking at their tax returns, and trying to determine what's the best thing for them. Not what's best for the bank, but what's best for them.
Got it. And are there any types of business banking tips you can offer?
Jackie, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to add one thing, Cheryl, relative to the relationship. That's what it's about for us. It's the relationships. And like Len said, Mr. Mitchell has charged us with really looking for ways that we can support our small businesses. And it's just that through relationships. And to give you an example, businesses that bank with us, we have seminars and mixes where they're able to interact with each other and find out what is your business doing? How can we leverage your business? And we too actively seek opportunities to leverage the products and services of our business owners. So for instance, all the paper, and you all know at a bank, we use a lot of paper. Every piece of paper that we print on comes from a minority-owned customer, Freedom Paper Company up in Columbia, Maryland. A lot of the memorabilia that we wear comes from Supreme Glory Apparel, from Curtis McSears, Citywide from Reggie. So we look for opportunities to utilize the products and services of our customers that bank with us. So it goes beyond banking. Industrial Bank is beyond banking. Yes, we'll take care of that, but we'll meet you at some other areas as well. And we pull everybody together and we try to use your products and services.
This is so good. I love that our viewers, Pastor Keith Battle is shouting you out, Doyle Mitchell. He's like, hey, Doyle Mitchell.
I love that man.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, I love that man.
Thank you for watching. So did we talk about the types of business banking tips, Leonard, before I move on to talking back to B. Doyle Mitchell? We're muted. Sorry.
It's all right. We talked about, we provide SBA financing. We provide term loans, we provide equipment loans, we provide working capital loans for businesses. We provide, like I said, equipment loans, and then we obviously do real estate. Mm-hmm. So that can be small scale real estate. You can be on a small building, have some tenants. We'll be looking at that. It's a little challenging these days because when we look at those, we're trying to find out if your tenants are able to pay you, which is important. And we kind of want to work with you to see how we can help. And then there are opportunities for developers and investors to buy property now because there's, people are selling, trying to get liquidity. And so we try and be very quick about that and give those high priority because those are opportunities for us to help them and also generate some income for the bank. Mm-hmm.
And for us, we, I inherited my mom's house, the house I grew up in the Northwest, and we don't want to sell it. We want to maintain it. So for us, it would be to, get a construction loan to help, update it and maintain it and use it to make money for us or keep it in our family, or whatever. So we're looking at ways to do, and I would love to do that with an industrial bank, somebody who can help us and walk us through it without having the knowledge that we need, to know that you guys will have our best interest at heart. So, in talking about stuff like that, personally, I see past the battle. So for people like that to shout you out, it really does stamp approval of the type of bank that industrial bank is. So for those who are following us, share this information, share this across your platform. This is such a wealth of information that can be shared and used in your personal life. So, Doyle Mitchell, are there suggestions on how to change the trajectory of the wealth gap? I mean, we know that there's a huge wealth gap, especially in our community. Before I go there, let me go to a question because I see I have another question in the audience. All right, what type of loans should we watch out for? We hear get cash today everywhere. Those payday loans, I guess, is what they're talking about there. So what type of loans? And I guess that's a good one for Staria or any one of you guys. What kind of loans should we not be looking out for? Those high interest ones, the ones that are easy to get and hard to get out of and that kind of thing.
Well, you made a very good point. If something is too easy for you in life, maybe that's not what you really want to gravitate towards. And one of the points that Lynn made is, sometimes we listen to our customers to determine what their needs are, and it may not be exactly what they came in for. So, what we try to do is not just what's in the best interest of the bank, but what's in the best interest of the small business. And sometimes people don't like that. Sometimes people don't really want to hear what we believe is in your best interest. And I think you should rely on people that know finance, people that you can trust. And I'm pretty sure when you come to Industrial Bank, you should be able to trust what we tell you. I mean, if you can't, then let me know. But we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that we give you what we believe is in your best interest. Mm-hmm. So I mean, yes, obviously the high interest rates, the large payments. Sometimes the best thing for someone is not to get the money. I know that, it take a while to sit back and ponder that, but sometimes having a bank tell you no or not yet is probably one of the best things that can happen to you. Mm-hmm. And many young businesses that get a loan, we expect you to start paying us back next month. And many small businesses are not quite ready for that. And so that could put a noose around your neck that's really not healthy for the business.
So Maddie Sullivan was saying, how else can I support Industrial Bank since I can't open an account from my location? But Maddie lives in Florida. And so that's the question that we did answer, that you can literally open an account even in Florida. Yes. You don't have to live in DC to give support to Industrial Bank or to bank with Industrial Bank. You can bank from anywhere because of their online portals. Now for those that are local, it's hard to get into the bank, physically often. I know there's precautions in every bank. But if you're like me, you want to avoid as many small crowds as possible. You know what I mean? And if you can do all the banking that you can from online or from your phone or any of those technologies that they offer, I would suggest that. So even if you live in Florida, you should be able to bank at Industrial Bank through their online portals.
Absolutely. So Cheryl, let's talk about Black wealth.
Yes, 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 yes. Let's talk about it. I'm Black and I'd love to be wealthy. So, are there suggestions on how to change the trajectory of this wealth gap?
There absolutely are, and it's not rocket science. I love to talk about this. We have to spend more money with Black businesses.
Mhm.
It's as plain and simple as that. And I'll get back to that. And then the next one, for us that don't own a home, we need to put ourselves in homes. Most Americans gain wealth through home ownership. In fact, small businesses rely on the equity in their homes many times to either raise capital or get a loan from a bank or other type lenders. And so home ownership is extremely, extremely important. And like I said earlier, we love to work with municipal programs that provide down payment money, closing cost assistance, and the like. And those loans take a while sometimes. Sometimes the municipality will require that you go through a class, to make sure that you're ready to own a home. But it's worth it. I've never seen a first-time home buyer that went through 3 or 6 or 9 months, or maybe even a year of preparation to own a home and thought that when they were handed the keys, it wasn't worth it. So,
Yeah.
so that's where we should start as individuals. As consumers, we spend over $1 trillion, and we only spend 3% with Black businesses. That's just a downright shame. And we have to increase the amount of money that Blacks as consumers spend with Black businesses. And sometimes it's hard to find Black businesses, but if I can just give you all just a few places you can go and look. One of my favorite heroes is Maggie Anderson, that wrote this book, Our Black Year. And so she has a Maggie's List. So you can look up maggieslist.com or the Empowerment Experiment. It may be .org. And she has businesses that she highlights from time to time. If you Google Buy Black or Bank Black, you can find businesses that are Black that you can support. Pastor Battle did a wonderful thing a couple of years ago. He just collected information from people in his church that have businesses. And I think they got to like 600 or 700 businesses that I still have. So we've got to talk about this. We've got to treat those businesses well. Let's not talk bad about them at the Thanksgiving table or anything like that. Right. There's another one called Our Black Book Magazine. Our Black Book Magazine. I think the social media site is Our Black Book Mag. So there are resources. And then there's another one called We Buy Black. So we have to learn how to find these businesses. We have to patronize them. And like I always say, if you find them and you have an experience that's not so pleasant, go tell the owner.
Yeah.
Pleasantly.
Yeah.
Kindly. Or go tell the manager, say, I want to come back, but this is what I experienced. And try to help us serve our consumers better. But we have to spend more of that $1 trillion. I recently was told that our spending power will go from 1.4 trillion to 1.8 trillion in the next 5 years.
Wow.
But it would be a shame for us to continue to spend only 3% with Black businesses. So we have to find those Black businesses. We have to talk them up. We have to patronize them. And if we don't have the correct experience, we should help them. If you have a bad experience at Industrial Bank, don't walk away, close your account, say nothing to us, and then complain to your family and your friends.
Yeah.
Go back to the manager, pleasantly, because we all want to be respected, and let us know what we did not do properly. You know, I love to get letters. Jackie loves to get letters and calls. We don't shoo away complaints, because if we don't know what's wrong and you don't tell us, then we can't fix it. So I think there's a lot of patience involved.
Right.
But if we don't recapture a lot of that 1.4 trillion, we will never change our circumstances. If we're only spending 3% when we get to 1.8 trillion, we'll be back here in 5 years talking about the same thing. So I think the audience, everyone, and I'm not just talking about come and bank with us necessarily, but find Black businesses that you can patronize.
Yeah.
Other than just banks. You should have a Black lawyer, Black accountant, Black insurance agent. And if you're 40 years or older, you should be starting to think about estate planning, either for yourself or your parents. Because many times, Cheryl, unlike what you said, we inherit the house. We inherit Big Mama's house. And then we have 2 or 3 siblings and we want to sell it. And then we sell it. We have all the cash. And then we start spending the cash, things like cars and clothes and so forth. And then it's gone.
Yep.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
Our money doesn't stay in our community long. And that's what we have to change.
That is the absolute truth. That's the absolute truth. As I was thinking about, the house and what the value of it is, some people look at that dollar and think, oh, that's a great way to retire. But you could, that investment, you're sitting on a gold mine. And it's like the generations before us, their big dream was to buy land, was to have land. We have land in the country, in Virginia, you know what I mean, that my grandmother left, or, you know what I mean, because their big thing was to buy this land and to be able to send it down through generations. It seems like we don't have that ideology any longer. Like, it's like, I got to get mine and I got to get it right now. And I think that's the detriment. I love that at Radio One, we have a segment all throughout the show about buying Black, and we spotlight 3 Black businesses every week, and we have details about them, and we share them all throughout our show for listeners to check those businesses out. I think that, that's a great way, just like you were saying, having that list of Black businesses that we can encourage and continue to give people opportunity to find out more about. Now, what are the most impactful ways to support Industrial Bank and other Black businesses? We talked a little bit about researching them, but, we could be the worst consumers sometimes, Doyle. We could be sometimes, I hate going into restaurants, and it seems like when you get to our table, they're the most, the worst to serve, or and I hate to say that, but even as a Christian radio station, those people that are on the other end of that line are not as pleasant. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna call Kathy Hughes right now, because, they just, they're not always the nicest, but, what is the most impactful ways to support industrial and some Black businesses? And what tools or plans does the Industrial Bank offer to help customers, create that generational wealth that we've been talking about?
Well, first of all, I got to give a big shout out to Kathy Hughes. She's just a hero, and Alfred has just done a wonderful job. When I first heard her spotlight 3 Black businesses on her radio station, I just thought that was totally gangster. And she did it. I heard it on 980.
Okay.
Which was not traditionally a Black-owned station. And so that's what I love about her. She puts herself out there no matter what the audience is. Station. And just so you know, I used a heating and air conditioning company that I heard off of her promotion. So we have to take those things that we're given, and we have to use them. We have to be we got to be nicer to ourselves than we are to other people.
Yes.
Black people need to start treating Black people worse than they will treat everybody else.
Yes.
I mean, that's one thing that we have to know. What Industrial Bank needs is we need more middle class and upper class individuals and businesses to come and bank with us. We have probably more accounts, and we love all of our account holders, but we have a lot of small accounts, and we have more accounts for a bank our size. And as Len said, we spend a lot of time with our borrowers trying to make things work. We need loans from people that can go anywhere. You know, we work at a lot of the loans that we make, but we need more that we don't have to work so hard on. And so if you want to help us, look at buying a home or refinancing your home with us. That business is growing quite a bit for us. And in 2021, we're going to have an all digital interactive system to process mortgage loans. So look out for that. You'll be able to use your tablet, your cell phone. You can already apply online, but it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful platform for us to approve mortgage loans with. So we're looking to increase that business, and you know, we want individuals that don't have to bank with us, but you know, Blacks that bank elsewhere, they should be banking with us. And if you can qualify for a business loan anywhere, those are the ones we need to make Len's life a little bit easier. He'll work with everybody, but he needs a few more borrowers who can just like, I can rubber stamp that. Let's get it done, and that's what we're doing so far.
He's about to be my good friend. Anywho, I appreciate we have to wrap this up. This has been so good. It's 8 o'clock already. Like, we could talk about this forever, but I do want to give you opportunity to give final words or information from any one of you guys. We can actually go through each of you to give final words, just so that we are making sure that we are getting all the information out that we need to from Industrial before we close out. So we want to give you opportunity. We could start with you, Jackie, and then go to Star, and then Len, and then Doyle. We'll have you close out for whatever any words that you have. So we'll go in that order.
Okay, so Cheryl, I just want to thank you and Radio One for the opportunity and the partnership. And what I would like to say to our community, now that we are working differently, we're spending more time with our families, let's turn off the electronics. Let's have some different conversations with our children. You asked earlier about how do we start good credit. It's about education. So let's teach our children what we did not know, and we'll start to see a change in the education level and a change in the behaviors. But with that, I just pray that each and every one of you have a safe.
You have a wonderful background back there too, Jackie. That looks so nice and inviting. Thank you so much. Star.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's always an honor to be asked to represent Industrial Bank and to be invited into these platforms. And I just want to encourage everyone to be vigilant. You know, protect your information. Protect your family, protect your accounts, your wealth, whatever your little nest egg is, protect it at all costs, and be vigilant. Remember, it only takes one little click. It only takes one little click. So be mindful and be looking at everything that's coming to you via text message, via email. Even when you're searching the web, be mindful of the things that you click and be mindful of the things that you look at, so that you can protect your assets and protect what you have worked so hard to gain.
Thank you. You share so much great information. Len?
Cheryl, thank you for allowing me to be part of this conversation. This is very important. I want to encourage folks who are looking to do real estate investing and buying property, or starting a small business and working. Dream big, be courageous, make the efforts, step out of it, step forward, so that we at Industrial can help you realize your dreams. Because that's really our mission. That's why I get up every day. And I'm very proud to be here, and very proud that we can serve you. Thank you.
Thank you. Great information. And Doyle, we'll give you the opportunity to close out with anything that you have to share with regards to Industrial, or just what's on your heart at this point.
Well, I'll just say this: be patient with us. Our call center is handling, at one point during the summer, we were handling triple the amount of usual calls that we had. And I think it has backed down a little bit, but our call volume is still very, very high. other than that, shout out to all of our customers out there. We love you. We love the customers that will come to Industrial Bank, and just have happy holiday. Please stay safe and keep praying for us. And I just want to again say how much I love the Radio One family, including Alfred and Ms. Hughes. They've been heroes of mine. She had me on the air at WOL in 4th and H Street. And that was 25 years ago, a whole 3-4 years ago. She had me on the radio station, and it was an experience that did a lot for me to learn how to make public appearances. So I love her, and thank you all for having us.
Oh, it is our pleasure. This is such a great opportunity. I pray that it's not the last time. Home for the Holidays has been amazing. It's been a great addition to the midday show, and us, sharing nuggets financially through the show. And then for this platform, for our final heart-to-heart discussion, we need to talk about finances more and more in our community. So this has been such a wealth of information. You couldn't pay for all of this with all of you guys, the experts that we have here. We've got folks shouting y'all out. So you got folks saying, Starry is the best. You got the best of it. So, we got folks loving on y'all big. And that's so amazing. That's a great testament of what you have to offer at Industrial Bank. Again, thank you for allowing us to serve. Thank you for this heart-to-heart discussion. It's been an amazing opportunity to share all of this great information. For those who are listening and those that are following, go to industrial-bank.com to find out all information that we just talked about at your fingertips, okay? If you want to open your bank account there, if you want to see what type of loans they have, if you want to get the ball rolling to be a part of the Industrial Bank family, go to industrial-bank.com. Thank you all so much. That's going to be a wrap for our home holidays. It is our final heart-to-heart discussion. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to share. All right, bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.